Hello everyone, how are you all? Having fun? In today's class, we will cover more definitions under the GST. And the very first definition that we are going to see is business. Question arises why it's essential to see definition of business. And the GST is applied on the supply of goods and services, okay? In the course of business. GST is on supply of goods and service in the course of business. So it's important to know about business. Means. Let's take example. A father gives chocolate to his son. Is it supply of goods or services? Answer is yes. Chocolate is goods. Supply of goods. Will GST be applied? So let's discuss. Tell me what is the complete definition. GST is on the supply of goods and services in the course of business. Father gave chocolate to his son. This is supply of goods, but it's not in course of business. This isn't business, right? And therefore GST will not be applicable. And we also need to understand what is business, because GST is applicable to supply of goods and services only if it's in course of business, right? Let's see. Business includes, the definition of business is inclusive definition. It says that all of this is business, right? And now this means that if someone or something similar will be here, and even if its name isn't written here, then also that is business. Now don't get specific and think that things listed here are considered business, else is not business. No, it's inclusive definition. Whenever there's inclusive definition, then the government widens it. All of this is included in the definition of business. It means anything related to it is business. Business includes any trade, such as commerce, manufacture, profession, vocation, adventure, wager, and any other similar activity. And whether it is for the pecuniary benefit, whether it's for pecuniary benefit means whether it is for financial benefit. Now, if you are doing all this like trading, commerce, manufacturing, profession, and vocation, it does not matter if it's for financial benefit or not. For example, what am I doing? I am a professional, right? I am providing professional service. Now, furthermore, if I say that I will donate all the money that I will make from the coaching classes to the charity then, and I am not doing classes for financial benefit. Let's say that I am not saying this. So here, let's just say that I will donate all the money into the charity that I will make from education. So is there any financial benefit for us? No, there's no financial benefit. Will GST apply? Yes, it will. GST is on supply of goods and services. In course of business, all this. Trade, profession, vocation, all are business. Whether there is financial benefit or not. It means if we will be financially benefited from it or not, it doesn't matter. I hope you understand meaning of trade, commerce, manufacturing, profession, and the vocation. Like, now you see small children go to stage shows, they earn lakhs of rupees. What is that called? I have seen in TV show called Dance India Dance where a 2-year-old child performs very well. He was dancing passionately, completely upside down. He was full of energy. Now, is this some professional knowledge he has or some skill he has acquired? No. He was made that way by the God. Okay, that is his inherent skill. If someone earns due to their inherent skill, it is called a vocation. This is also considered as business. Okay, adventure. Now see, you can make money by doing business and adventure. Okay, adventure. Let's take a small example. If I take an example, you must have seen sometimes, and on the roadside you must have seen. On a rope with a string tied to it and small child walks on those ropes, it's like an adventure. Okay guys, so some people show off adventures on sports, bikes and such, and they make money from it. That's again business. Wager means wager. Wager means to place a bet, to gamble. Even it's a business. The next point is any activity or transaction in connection with or incidental or ancillary to subclause A. If you are doing something because of A, because of what is written in A, you do something because of A, then other work you are doing is also business. For example, I am TV dealer. My work is selling TVs. So this is a trade, a business. My work is to sell TV. I am trading. I am selling TV. This is my business. This is a 4 lakh rupee TV and it has glass on its edges. That means it doesn't have any border. I hope this is clear to you. TV has glass till the edge. Right. A customer comes and buys a 4 lakh rupee TV from me. This doesn't sell daily. This TV sells occasionally. The one who bought TV for 4 lakh rupees says that this needs to be put in wooden box. He wants it all packed and then delivered from here. Now I'm asking you, is this my business to get a wooden box made? Tell me, guys. To get it delivered through transportation, is it my business? Answer is no. Hey, I am trading TVs, I am selling TVs, this is not my job, But if I did all this work, if I will agree to do this work, because of business, if you have to do other work as well, so that is also considered your business, meaning making a wooden box and selling it through transportation, that is also my business. Will I charge for this? Answer is yes. If customer has any special requirements, will I charge them? Answer is yes, I take charge. Will GST be applicable? Answer is yes, it's applicable. Or you will say, you are not charging, you are giving it for free. Then tell me, we can just assume that 4 lakhs rupees amount taken for TV, it's inclusive of everything. If I say I will deliver TV to your home, it means that the transportation and TV together cost 4 lakh rupees. Okay, so the entire money is liable for GST. Okay, do you understand difference in A and B? A involves selling TV. In B, what is covered to sell TV if you had to get wooden box made and get it transported? This is covered in B. Next, C. Any activity or transaction. In the nature of sub-clause A, whether or not there is volume, frequency, continuity or regularity of such transaction. Transactions we were talking about in point A, trade, commerce, all this you are doing. Whether or not there is a lot of volume happening or not. Even if you have one customer a year, you are doing business. You can't say I have opened my shop but no customers coming. If there are 4 customers a year, it's saying volume does not matter for your business. What is frequency? Is there continuity or not? Is there regularity or not? Whether you open shop every day or not, it doesn't matter. Says if even one transaction happens a year, that is business. Supply or acquisition of goods, including capital goods and services, in connection with commencement of closure of business. What is this? What you did, you started acquiring capital goods. So, right now we're starting a business. Before we start, what did we do? Let's say we're starting coaching classes. What did we do for that? We started our purchases. We started buying video camera. Then we started purchasing air conditioner and started purchasing laptop. So when I started making these purchases, did I start a business? The answer is yes, this is saying business began. This is business. You know what you are purchasing? Capital goods. You are purchasing services. I purchased software installation services. All of this is start of a business. Further, similarly for business closure, what do you do then? If you start selling assets, you are doing this. Is this business? The answer is yes. Provision by club, association, society or any such body for subscription or any other consideration of facilities or benefits to its members. Any club association in which through the membership, members are benefited, meaning fees collected from members, they are provided with benefits. Means they get benefits as a member, right? As being a member of that club. It says this is also business. Whatever club is doing, they take membership fee, you become member of club and get benefits in it. So what is all this? It says this is also business. Admission for a consideration of a person to any premises. For example, you have to pay an entry fee to enter any premises, such as, let's say that when you go to any museum or you go to a zoo. Okay. So tell me what is all this? Or you go to a park, you buy ticket and enter. Okay. So if you go inside a place by paying for ticket, this is what? Business. I said zoo, then I said park, and what else did I say? Tell me, what else? Services supplied by person as holder of office, which has been accepted by him in course of furtherance of his trade, profession or vocation. Next, it says if you are a holder of an office and you provide any service from that office, that is a business. Then the activities of a race club including by way of totalisator or a license to bookmaker, or activities of a licensed bookmaker in such club. What is he saying? Activities of a race club. Activities of race club are business. What is race club? What is it talking about? Talking about where horse races are organized. It's talking about horse races, about the horse racing club. It is saying that this horse racing club is doing business, right guys? When they are doing business, they themselves also take many services. Business that they take includes services of bookmaker, services of the totalisator, says this is business. Now you may not be understanding, so I'll explain what it is. Horse race clubs, what do they do? Organize gambling. Horse racing club organizes gambling. It says 20 horse are racing, you can bet on the horse. If your horse comes first, you will get 4 times the money. If the horse comes in second, you will get double money. Something like that. If you bet 1 crore and horse comes first, then your 1 crore rupees becomes 5 crore rupees. Something like this, okay? So what is the race club doing? They are making you do gamble. Okay. Furthermore, this gambling is electronically. At every level, they use a device to calculate their profit and loss, and the device is called the totalisator. It's very nice device. We will learn about it. It will be fun. So the race clubs doesn't have totalisator. They call the totalisator guy and tell him to put this totalisator device here at the race club. He then installs the device. How does the device look like? Look, this is a device. It's like a keyboard, like a computer's keyboard. That's what it is. All horses are made here. 1 number, 2 number horse, 3 number horse. This is a button. 4 number, 5 number, 6 number. Like this is a button for number 1 horse. Now for example, we will say put 1 crore on horse number 1 for me. So number 1 will be pressed and my name will be entered. Okay, and another rupee will be put in. Someone would put bet on horse 2, someone on horse 3. People like me, 25 to 50, who put bet on horse 1. Names of all those people who placed money on horse number 1 are entered in the device. Okay. Now this device, that is totalisator, it is connected to camera. This race that is happening, cameras are placed at various spots so that we can see which horse is winning. Totalisator is taking all inputs, that which horse is in lead and which one is in number 1 position. Who is number 2? Who is on number 3? So, if that horse is on number 1 on which highest money has been put, then this will be big loss for people organizing the game as price is very high. Right. It quickly calculates profit loss that number 1 horse is in the lead. Okay. 5 crore rupees is placed on number 1 horse means 25 crore are to be paid. Okay. How much money other horses have on them? It quickly calculates as it knows amount of money placed on which horse. Calculates profit loss. And it keeps updating on live basis. That what is the profit and the loss at the current moment. You understand how prices go up down quickly in stock market. Totalisator works in similar way. One who conducts horse races, he can see his profit loss instantly. Totalisator keeps calculating which horse is in lead at this point in time if it wins. If it won the race. So the profit that will get or the loss he has to pay because of it besides. So how much money will come? They calculate and net it off and take it out. Did you get it? Second thing, what they do is that those who organize horse race. Do you know what they need the most? Do you know? One is the totalisator while the other. Those horses who will run, where will they come from? Organizers call people like Vijay Mallya, and do you know Vijay Mallya's business? The horses that run in the race are prepared by Vijay Mallya. This business is called stud farming and this is Vijay Mallya's big business. In fact, let me tell you guys that Vijay Mallya owns many businesses. But if you combine all his businesses, then the horses that are prepared for horse races, that business is almost equivalent to all the businesses. Or it may be bigger than that. Okay, this business is not a small business. It was Vijay Mallya who only did this business in India. Now he has gone abroad. There is no one in India to do this business. For each horse, several lakh of rupees are spent every month for food, drink and other things. Those horses are prepared for racing and when they win, a lot of money is earned. That means when horse wins race like horse number 5 wins race, so the owner of the horse will get the money. One who invested on horse will also get it. Okay? So, Now then they are called, the horse owners are called, those people participate. Now, third, most important, they call the bookie. Who is the bookie? The one who calls the gamblers. Horse is ready, it's standing there. Racecourse is ready, totalisator device is present there. Who will bet money? Those who will play the gambling are also needed. So bookie brings gamblers one by one. Bookie has his own commission. Right? 1%, 2%, whatever commission they have. Right? Now this horse race game is legal game. Do you know this or not? That this is legal. Tell me. It's legal game. While other gambling happening in the world are illegal against law. This is legal gambling. Right, so don't look at it with a wrong intention. It is legal. You regularly transfer money from your bank account and when you win, you get money after TDS deduction. This is legal gambling. Right, so it's played with white money, not black money. Right. Furthermore, they call the bookie, everyone says, hello bookie, bring the gamblers. Bookie charges his commission, he gathers gamblers. Okay? It is saying that this race, the horse race and this horse race club is a huge business. Rest all those services it is using are also businesses. You must have got it now. It says including by way of totalisator or a license to bookmaker. Bookmaker is the bookie. Activities of a licensed bookmaker in such club. Any activity or transaction undertaken by central government, state government or local authority in which they are engaged as public authorities. It says that any transaction that central government, state government or local authority does, in which they are engaged as public authorities. As per public authorities, whatever work they do is also business. This definition assumes significance as the levy is on supplies undertaken in the course of furtherance of business. Definition can be understood in two parts. You see, in the course of furtherance of business. When does GST apply? On supply of goods and services in the course of furtherance of business. Okay? It's explaining summary in two parts. Its definition is complete. This is the summary. One is general activity business, means trade, commerce. These are all general activity businesses. While second is saying specific activity like you acquired capital goods, this is business. And the supply of supply. By association club, so association club sells its membership fees. That is also business. It says for entering any premises like zoo or similar places, you need to buy ticket. This is also business. Service by a race club is also service. Following aspect need to be noted. Wager is included in definition of business to impose GST on betting transactions. Why was wager included? Because GST had to be levied on betting, so wager is termed as business. Educational services will be covered in professional services, whether cover it in business services. Okay? Therefore, education is also a business. Charitable and religious activities are not covered. Please note that this is also not a business. In clause G, require understanding of employment as differentiated from profession, like if CA in practice provides CFO or independent director services, then service provided by him may be treated as business and not employment. CA in practice, what does that mean? A CA who has opened his own office. So what these people do? They become CFO in some companies. CFO, which kind of CFO? Not full-time CFO. Chief Financial Officer, one is full-time CFO, the employees. These CA in practice, they become CFOs and are called CFOs on demand. What do you call that? Say it quickly. CFO on demand. They say to company, we are CFO on demand for you. You don't need to hire Chief Financial Officer as we can provide financial decision. And whatever your meeting is, we will come there and be part of it. And related financial decisions we will discuss with you. They don't work there. They are not working there. They will go for the meeting. Okay. This is like independent director. Independent director goes to meeting and sits. He applies his mind to operations. CFO's job is to comprehend meeting from the financial angle. Whereas the other directors, they are operational. They sit in that meeting through operational angle or from the strategic decision-making angle. Furthermore, a director can be made for some strategies. Right? Someone can become a CFO for some financial angle. Therefore, in this way, those who do part-time work, okay, when we do part-time, it says that is also a business or a profession. Okay, let's look at the next definition, consideration. Next definition is consideration. Actually, GST will be calculated on which amount, that's also a point. I said I supply goods and services in the course of furtherance of business, so GST will apply. On what will it apply? Which is the consideration. I gave you mobile. I gave mobile and you paid 20,000 rupees for it. GST is on 20,000 consideration. You need to understand what is called consideration. If you have paid money, then only GST or consideration will be levied. I gave you mobile and you gave me laptop in return. Will GST apply or not? Yes, the question does arise. You don't have to answer, but the question arises. What does consideration mean? When will GST be levied? Supply of goods and services is done. Now GST will be levied on what? On the consideration. What is consideration? That you need to understand. Consideration in relation to supply of goods or services or both includes A. Any payment made or to be made. Any payment that has been made or is to be made. Whether in money or otherwise. Okay, so therefore the payment for goods and services is made whether it's being made in money or is not being made in money. That means I gave you mobile phone and in exchange you gave me money. GST will apply, it's in consideration. I gave you mobile, you gave me laptop in exchange. Laptop is also consideration. Okay? In respect of, in response to, or for the inducement of the supply of goods or services or both, whether by the recipient or by any other person. It is now saying a different story. It says that you supplied goods and services, and whatever you received in exchange, whether it was money or otherwise, that is consideration. Even if you got that from the person to whom you supplied goods, services, or from someone else. Whether by the recipient, meaning the one who receives the goods and services, or by any other person, means from anyone. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now listen carefully. What does this mean? I provided classes to you. Let's say the fees for classes were 10,000 rupees. Okay? There is a charitable organization. It said, Mr. Raj Agrawal, when you give classes to students for 10,000 rupees, take only 6,000. I said, why? They said, we will give you 4,000 rupees per student. You teach students for less, we will give you 4,000 rupees. I said, that's very good point. How much is consideration for me? Student gave 6,000 rupees, charitable organization will give 4,000. How much money am I getting for teaching? What is the amount that I am getting for teaching service? Consideration will be 10,000. It says that the recipient of goods and services, whether he gives or anyone else. Did you understand this? Pay attention to what is consideration. The recipient of goods and services who pays the money? No. What is given to the supplier of goods and services? I said a very important thing. Okay, and listen very carefully. Only then will you understand. This is supplier. And here is the recipient. Sometimes it happens that the recipient gives the supplier rupees 500. But how much is the supplier receiving? The recipient gives rupees 500 to supplier. But tell me that how much will be the recipient's total receipt? Do you know? The receipt is, let's say, rupees 600. Hence, question now is that what is the consideration for the goods and services? The amount the supplier receives, not the amount the buyer gives. I will tell you how it happens. In today's digital age, this is happening a lot. Okay? The recipient goes to pay the suppliers. So you will see that there is offer on the credit card. If you pay with this credit card, you will get discount of 1,000 rupees. Supplier is giving goods to buyer. How much is it? 6,000 rupees. Okay? And now he put in the relevant credit card that has an offer going on. And automatically out of 5,000 or whatever it was, 5,000, 6,000, from that 10-20% amount was reduced. Okay? And so the buyer paid less money. How much will be the supply? Supply of goods, services. What will be the consideration? As much as the supplier received, the supplier anyways gets the complete money. That was the card offer. Okay, and the rest he will get from the bank of that card. For example, recipient paid 500 rupees. And how much did he get from the credit card company? Recipient gives rupees 500 through credit card. Okay. Why? Because discount of 100 was acquired. Now this credit card company paid 100 rupees. How much did he got? 600 rupees. How much is consideration? 600 rupees. For example, you pay using the Paytm app. So we select the Paytm app. Like sometimes it happens when we go to buy something on the Flipkart. So we see that it's for 500 rupees. But it says if you pay using Paytm app, it will be 450. We pay 450 rupees using Paytm app. So supplier gets 500 or 450 rupees. He gets 500. Why would he get 450? This is the offer running on Paytm app and Paytm gives 50 rupees to supplier. Now, don't ask me what is the profit of Paytm. What is the business? All businesses are running on losses. Okay, right? Amazon started earning profit in the last 2 years. For past 20 years, Amazon was in loss. Flipkart is in loss even today. Do you know? Byju's till date is running in loss. Unacademy till date is in loss. They didn't even see what profit is. No profit till now. So don't ask me what is benefit in this. Who is getting benefit? Okay, so understand everybody is playing on to making the business bigger. We will create big business, then earn. First, business should be big, right? Okay, but shall not include any subsidy given by central government or state government. If central government or state government provides subsidy, it will not be part of consideration. For example, like, I'm selling goods subsidized by the central government. Okay? Let's understand this with an example. I took from the customer 10,000 rupees and central government gave 2,000 rupees subsidy to us. Meaning goods were worth 12,000 rupees but central government subsidized 2,000 rupees, so I sold to customer for 10,000. The consideration here is 10,000 rupees. Not 12,000 rupees. If central government or state government provides money through subsidy, it is not consideration, and if money comes from anywhere else, that is consideration, keep in mind. For example, I sell books, okay? Book costs 500 rupees, student gives 400 rupees, 100 rupees is given as subsidy by charitable organization. So consideration is 500 rupees, 400 came from student and 100 rupees came from charitable organization. So whatever money we will receive, that is the consideration. But if we receive money from central government as subsidy, then it is not consideration. The monetary value of any act or forbearance. This is also consideration, the monetary value of any act. What does it mean? I went to a shop. I went to a showroom. And I bought a pair of jeans from this garment showroom. Okay? I picked up the jeans, tried them, they were nice and brought them to the cash counter. I asked the cash counter, how much is the price of these jeans? He said 4,000 rupees. Okay. And then a man was sitting on the chair in the corner and he said, hey, hi, Raj sir. I said, yes, that's me. So then he said that, sir, I am your student and I have taken your classes. Okay. So I said that, okay, that is great. Okay, so he said, sir, actually I need to take one more class of a subject for which fee is 3,000 rupees. So I will take that class tomorrow. You just pay 1,000 rupees for these jeans. Jeans was for 4,000 rupees. The child is sensible and thinks that I have to pay 3,000 rupees tomorrow anyways. So I'll not take it now. How much shall we take from, sir? Let's take just 1,000 rupees and it'll be settled. I said, okay, that's good. I'll give you 1,000 rupees. Now the question is, how much is the consideration? He said consideration is the amount of money or otherwise. Okay, now here otherwise is I have done some act, I have taught something. The money is for that. This is also consideration. Okay? Take another example. I go to a shop and I buy a mobile phone. Okay? Mobile is for 50,000 rupees. I told the shopkeeper, how much do I have to give you? So then he said, oh, Raj sir, you? I said, yes. He said that, sir, I had given you a phone call at the time of GST raid at my place. And when I took some consultancy from you, you told me something. I asked when. So he said, sir, it was just 3 months ago. I called you around 6:30 in the evening. I said, yes, right, I remember. He said, sir, that consultancy costs 15,000 rupees, right? So you don't give 50,000, give 35,000 rupees. I told him something over phone 3 months ago. This 15,000 is for that consultancy. Okay. So this was an act that I had performed. It is saying its value is also consideration. Pay attention. So the consideration is 50,000 rupees only. Just because I gave 35,000 doesn't mean 35,000 is the consideration. Second point is the monetary value of any act or forbearance. Forbearance means to tolerate. If we tolerate something and we get paid for it, that is also consideration. Meaning, if we take money to do something, then it is consideration. If we receive something for doing, this is consideration. Okay? If you get money for tolerating something, that is also consideration. Okay, you understood the point of doing something, like I gave consultancy, so the money for it is also consideration. Right? So now the consideration for the mobile is how much? 50,000 rupees. Consideration for mobile is how much? Listen, 15,000 is being adjusted. Government is saying 50,000 is the consideration for mobile. And to me, it's saying that Raj Agrawal, 15,000 is consideration for the consultation you gave. Now this 15,000, 50,000 is adjusted. You are paying net 35,000 rupees, which means GST will be double, like 2 GST. On one side, he will charge GST on 50,000 and on other side, I will charge GST on 15,000 for consultancy services. Coming back to previous point, the student one, when he'll make bill of jeans, it will be 4,000 plus GST. Since he'll charge GST on 4,000, and how much did I give him? 1,000 rupees. I will make GST bill on 3,000. Are you understanding? Remaining difference will be adjusted. GST and differences. That much payment will have to be made or received. Everyone is understanding, right? See, now we are trying to understand it in a crude sense. The monetary value of any act. This is consideration. The monetary value of forbearance, money from tolerating something, is also consideration. Tell me one thing, do I take money from you for doing something or for tolerating something? Let's say you're doing my class. Money is not for tolerating, but I am getting money for doing something. So what does it mean to tolerate? Like? You sign a check, okay? And your check just bounces. So the bank people, they will put some charges on you. Meaning they took some money from you. Charging you in your bank account means they took some money from you. You asked, what was this? For tolerating. Bank saying, what drama is this when there's no money in your account? Why giving check? They took money to tolerate. You booked a flight ticket. And after making cancellation, they take some charges from you. Okay? And when they charge you, you say, what is this? They say, for tolerating. Airlines say, what drama is this? First you book ticket and then cancel it. Did you understand? Same applies on train tickets too. You book your train tickets and later you get them cancelled. Then they charge you. This money that they charge is for tolerating. You understand what forbearance is? It's the money taken for tolerating something. That is consideration. The monetary value of any act of forbearance in respect of, in response to, or for the inducement of supply of goods or services or both, whether by the recipient or by any other person, but shall not include any subsidy given by central government or state government. This point is being made very clear repeatedly. It is making it clear that subsidy from central government or state government is not consideration. What are the considerations? Goods and services that you supplied and that you received in the form of money or otherwise, that is consideration. Secondly, if you received money for doing an act or something, is consideration. You tolerated something and because of that you received money. This is also consideration. There are many other things about forbearance. I gave you simple examples. There are big examples too. Like what happens is, a building is being built nearby. A commercial building is being constructed. My building is already built. Okay? So, the one who is constructing the building nearby, I told them that keep buildings height to only 5 floors. He planned to build 6 floors and blueprint for 6 floors is also approved. I told him to build only 5 floors. He said, how can we build only 5 floors? I said, my building won't get any sunlight or shade because of your building. I'm giving 1 crore rupees for it. Now students, that guy is taking 1 crore rupees for what? To tolerate, to not build 1 floor. He is just tolerating. He hasn't done anything. We'll ask him, did he do anything? He didn't. He did nothing. He's tolerating by not building 1 floor. He is tolerating this and is taking money for this. He is getting paid for doing nothing here. He has not done anything. Okay. Not building one floor is not any work for me. He is just tolerating it. And taking money for tolerating is also consideration. Provided that a deposit given in respect of supply of goods or services or both shall not be considered as payment made for the supplies. Unless the supplier applies such deposit is consideration for the said supply. What is it saying? If you give someone a deposit, it is not consideration. I'll explain you by an example. Do you know GST is levied on commercial renting? GST is levied on commercial renting. For example, if I take commercial building for my office on rent, other party will charge GST on rent. Okay? He told me the rent for the building I am taking. He said it's 1 lakh rupees per month. Rent is 1 lakh rupees per month. Okay. And what else did he say? He said that you have to pay 3 lakh rupees as deposit. You'll have to pay deposit of 3 lakh rupees. And whenever you vacate this building, 3 lakh rupees will be refunded. He's saying that this is called deposit and GST is not applicable on this if you are paying any money, which you will get back. Okay? That will not be adjusted in any services. It is saying GST will not be charged on this. This is not goods and services money. This money is of services. The rent which is there, it is taking money for renting services being provided, but there's no GST on deposit. But at last it states that if this deposit gets adjusted in the services, then GST will be charged. For example, when 3 months were left, I told him 3 months in advance that look, after 3 months, this space will be vacated. I will not give rent of next 3 months. You have 3 lakh rupees in advance which you'll return. Adjust that 3 lakh rupees in 3 months. I told him, okay, so now if I do that, then this 3 lakh rupees, it is no longer a deposit. It has become the payment for the services. It's saying you'll have to pay GST on 3 lakh rupees. He'll bill 3 lakh plus GST and you'll pay GST amount. 3 lakh rupees will be adjusted from deposit and you'll pay GST. Is this clear? So it is saying that this deposit is not consideration. But if this deposit is later adjusted against any services or any goods that is taken, so what will this become? Then it will become a consideration. The following aspects need to be noted. It refers to the payment received by the supplier in relation to the supply, whether from the recipient or any other person. It refers to the payment received by the supplier in relation to the supply, whether from the recipient or any other person. Therefore, a third party to the contract can also contribute towards consideration. If money is received from third party, it is also consideration. I just explained a simple point. Consideration is not what the buyer pays. Consideration is what the supplier receives. If you want to write, do it nicely. Consideration is not what the buyer pays, okay? Consideration is what the supplier receives. Is it clear? Consideration, therefore, is not the amount that the recipient pays, but the amount that the supplier collects, whether from the recipient or any third party. This would be particularly relevant in dealing with complex arrangements in the digital economy and new age business. It's saying that these days in digital economy, in new age business, this is something that is being seen a lot. Actually, it's being seen. Let me tell you, just like I mentioned that, say, if someone pays through Paytm, then the buyer has to pay less, but supplier is receiving more money. What is being received is the consideration. Rest I'll explain like this. Do you know why nowadays Flipkart and Amazon have become so popular? Because they made a very big loss? Yes, you probably don't have any idea. Like, what does Flipkart do? They have buyers and sellers both. Okay, seller puts his goods there and buyer buys those goods. Okay, the seller puts his goods on Flipkart, let's say for rupees 100. Okay, what will Flipkart do? Flipkart will show that product to buyer for rupees 80. They list it for 80 rupees and will show 20% discount on it. 20% discount. Flipkart is giving this 20% discount from its own pocket. Look at this, what business it is doing. Seller is saying we will sell goods of 100 rupees. What Flipkart is doing on that listing of 100 rupees after giving 20% discount, it is showing it for 80 rupees. Okay. Now tell me that how much is the buyer paying? Tell me how much the buyer is paying. The buyer is paying him 80 rupees for this. But how much is Flipkart paying to the seller? 100 rupees. Now for this seller, what is the consideration? Amount that the buyer is paying. No, the buyer is paying 80 rupees. But the seller is receiving 100 rupees, so 100 is the sale consideration. However, Flipkart will deduct its commission. Practically speaking, suppose commission is 10%, they will deduct 10% from 100 rupees, which is 10 rupees, and will give 90 rupees. Pay attention, if he gives 90 rupees, then 90 rupees won't be consideration. He paid 10 rupees as commission. Commission is altogether a different thing. Okay, he received 100 rupees for goods and gave 10 rupees as commission to Flipkart. So, after adjustments, it is 90 rupees now. He will enter that sale for how much? 100 rupees, and he'll also enter the 10 rupees as commission cost. Okay. But still buying amount is 80 rupees and Flipkart is making loss. Out of the 80 rupees, it is giving a total of 90 rupees. Commission is 10 rupees, but it is selling for 20 rupees less. This is Flipkart's loss. So in this way, they became so popular. Okay. And do you know, Flipkart has a big billion day sale every year. So Flipkart's first big billion day was? I am not sure exactly. I don't know if I am saying it correctly or not, but I think it was 8 years ago. Okay? It's been about 8 years since the first big billion day, maybe 8 or 9 years, whatever. And on big billion day, what they do is they give away their goods at ridiculously low prices. Okay, so at that time, a printer was being sold for 1 rupee. Price of that printer was maybe 4,000 rupees, okay? And I was the lucky one to get that printer for rupees 1. I got printer for 1 rupee, so I still remember the big billion day. I bought 4,000 rupees printer for 1 rupee. So it would immediately go out of stock. It was possible to buy that if order is made within a fraction of a second. So I was ready beforehand to buy it. The cart details, everything was added. I added it to cart quickly and bought it. So there are many other losses. These guys keep making losses in every product. Even today, they are making losses in many of them. Okay. Like Flipkart has started grocery division. I am very sure that they're incurring huge losses in grocery because now they need to stabilize it. They are now trying to stabilize the main app of Flipkart. So there are on to less losses, but still they are in overall loss. Okay. But intentionally, they are not trying to incur a lot of losses now. But obviously they brought new division of groceries, so they might be in loss. Flipkart Plus, where they're selling medicine, might be incurring huge losses there. So that customer acquisition happens, people get confidence in product. Consideration can be in the form of money or otherwise. Example, a JDA model. JDA stands for Joint Development Agreement model. First, let's discuss about JDA, then we'll move on. What is JDA? There are two parties in JDA. One is landowner and second builder. Okay, landowner is the one who has land and the builder comes to the landowner and says, give us your land, we'll build a building. And on this about 100 flats will be built. Out of those 40 flats will be yours and 60 will be mine. Land will be yours and mine would be materials. We will build a building on this land. 40 flats will be yours and 60 flats will be mine, builder says. Now landowner calculates the value of his land and says that the value of my land is approximately 20 crore rupees. He says that 40 flats will be built, 1 flat will sell for 1 crore rupees. So 40 flats will be worth 40 crore rupees. He says, take it. Let's construct building on this. So they make an agreement. Okay, in which it is said that the one who owns the land, okay, the landowner, so he gave the land to the builder and the builder will give 40 flats in return to the landowner. Okay, so this agreement is called Joint Development Agreement, JDA. Okay. Now what is the builder giving to the landowner? 40 flats, okay. And what did the landowner give him? Land. So the land that he gave, these 40 flats, do you know what are they? They are his consideration. Are you understanding or not? Consideration can be in money or otherwise. Landowner gave the land to the builder. Instead of paying for the land, the builder gave 40 flats. So these 40 flats are consideration. These 40 flats is consideration. GST will be applied on it. GST will be paid on their value. Okay. Although I should not explain GST to you now, I should just explain that this is consideration. What will happen and what not we'll see when we study GST later. For now, we are studying the definition. Consideration can be in the form of money or otherwise. Example, under a JDA model, the flat handed over by the developer to the landowner will be considered as consideration for the development rights given by the developer to the landowner. What did the landowner give? He has given the development rights to him. Okay, although he did not give the land, to be honest, we should not write land, we should write development right. He is giving the right to build a building on it. Development right means giving rights to make a building. Correct spelling is this. He gives the right to build a building. Okay? Deposit as such are not liable to tax. However, where such deposits have been applied as consideration, it's saying that deposits will not be subject to tax. I told you this. But if you convert the deposit into consideration, like if you adjust the deposit later for goods and service, GST will apply is what they're saying. Deposit as such are not liable to tax. However, where such deposits have been applied as consideration for the supply, it would tantamount to masking of advances. If you have adjusted it in consideration, then you are just masking it and calling it a deposit. If you are giving a deposit as the advance and also getting it adjusted immediately, so it is saying this is just masking, right? Masking means putting on a mask. It is saying you have just put the mask of deposit on it. That's not a deposit, that's consideration for goods and services. And in this case, tax will apply. Merely altering the nomenclature of the payment as deposit if you call any payment as deposit. So just by saying it doesn't become a deposit, it has its own meaning. Would not change the nature of the receipt, however, trade practices and the terms used play an important role in identifying whether the account is deposit or in advance or any payment as consideration for the supply. Okay? Whenever we give someone money, is it an advance payment for taking the goods and services? Or is it like a deposit? It's saying that it becomes clear by looking at the system, and don't play around just calling it deposit doesn't make it a deposit. Sometimes we give money in advance, that this money will be adjusted in goods and services. It's saying that it's an advance, don't call it a deposit. It's saying the supplier may have to part the deposit in a separate bank account in case of a refundable deposit. Sometimes upon seeing it is understood that it is a deposit, like it will have refundable written on it. Sometimes it also happens that company puts deposit into separate account saying we have to give it back later, keep it separate. After seeing everything, it will make sense. It's not necessarily required that this will happen. There are many things, so it will make sense after seeing them. However, whether the amount is refundable or not is not the criteria to determine whether such an amount is a deposit. Okay, so whether this will be refundable or not, this is also not the criteria to determine whether this is a deposit. Sometimes companies also take non-refundable deposits. We're taking deposit which is non-refundable and will not give it back. If it's a deposit, then it is. Okay? We will have to see and understand its nature. This is also an inclusive definition. So there can be other things also which can be included in the definition of consideration. So I think in today's class, I covered those two definitions which were complicated and lengthy. So I will end today's class here itself. Right? We will stop, and in next class, we will see some other definitions.